time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse, mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes, they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win, apply myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win, apply myself.
Welcome back to CTC. I am your gracious host, Carl, and I'm here. I'm going to take something off, but I'm here to give y'all recap for championship weekend. We had a pretty good championship weekend. We had a couple games. We had a couple blowouts, and I'm here to talk playoffs a little bit. Not too crazy, just my regular poll talk, but now we incorporate some playoffs talks on the poll talk. But before I do that, I would like to ask for y'all to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the content on this network. It helps CTC, my show, Carl Talking College. It helps the main show featuring Joe, Tomo, and Dave. It helps BWT, Baseball with Teddy. It helps FFC, Fantasy Football with Coach Coombs, which I just took an L in fantasy football. Thank you, Eagles defense. The Joe Jordan Show, Dave's Doghouse, who went live last week. Real Ballers Only with Javon, and we have in the red corner who goes live every other Sunday. I now know this because I asked Ty. That's featuring Ty, Fast Camp, and Ricky. It helps all those shows with when you leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share. And just listen to a couple videos and go down the rabbit hole. And if you like what you listen to, stick with us. Now, of course, like I always do, got to do some poll talk first. Now, man, noon was highly anticipated. We had our conference championship winners. We were all interested, scratching, waiting for that noon show to see who's going to be the top four, the final four for the last 4-team playoff. And coming in at number one and number two wasn't a surprise. We knew those would be Michigan at 1, Washington at 2. Now, maybe some people thought Washington at 1, Michigan at 2. But I thought Michigan 1, Washington 2. Now, surprise was 3 and 4. I personally felt Florida State deserved a chance to get in, being an undefeated conference champion, 13-0. I don't care if Jordan Travis got hurt against Northern Alabama. They still had to win that game. They still had to beat Florida, and they still had to beat Louisville, who was top 15, and they got the job done. Now, for Bama and Texas, I didn't care what you do. Maybe if you valued the SEC over the Big 12, I'm with you. Cool, you put in Bama. If you value head-to-head more, cool, you put in Texas. Even though, some would argue that was week 2. This Bama team is nowhere near that. That's a good argument. But, hey, I didn't care if you left Bama out or Texas out, but I wanted Florida State in. They deserved a chance. And I'm not trying to hear, but Jordan Travis is hurt. We don't know what that team will look without Jordan Travis. Hey, Cardell Jones had to step in for, I believe, an injured JT Barrett. He ended up winning the whole thing. So you still got to play the game for 60 minutes. Don't care if it's with a backup or third string. Hey, look, you got to play the game for 60 minutes, and good teams find a way to win. So I was upset. I feel sad for those boys down in Tallahassee. I had them in the playoffs in the preseason. I had them going 13-0, being the ACC champ in the preseason. And it sucks because Jordan Travis is hurt. The committee took that away from him. They took that shot away from him. They didn't give him a chance. If that was the case, you should have just told him after the Northern Alabama game, hey, no matter what you do, you're not getting in. Because we all knew Jordan Travis was out for the year after the Northern Alabama game. So they should have just told him, hey, look, man, y'all not getting in no matter what. Because that's pretty much what they just told them by not putting them in the top 4. But I digress. Liberty wins the bid for the New Year's Six Bowl for the best group or highest ranked group of 5 school. Shout out Liberty. I wanted them to do it. Some people were saying that SMU deserved it because they had 2 losses, but their 2 losses was to Power 5 schools in Oklahoma and TCU. While I will give you the Oklahoma loss as a really good loss, TCU, I don't know if that's a good loss. I get TCU still a Power 5 school, but that doesn't look like a good loss at the end of the year. Liberty finishes, ranked 23rd for the group of 5, and SMU finishes 24th for the group of 5. Now for the rankings at 25th, I disagree with K-State. I think even though Tulane lost, they should be 25th. Tulane is 11-2. Losses to SMU, who's 24th now, and the American Athletic Champion, and to Ole Miss, who is ranked 11th. Those, if you want to talk about good losses, those are good losses. K-State is 8-4. I'm not valuing that K-State 8-4 over Tulane's 11-2 losing the conference championship. That's just me though. So Florida State finishes at 5, Georgia at 6, Ohio State at 7, Oregon at 8, Mizzou at 9. Mizzou finishes top 10. Barring bowl, so we'll just say finishes top 10 until bowl season. Penn State at 10, Ole Miss at 11. I will honestly swap that. Oklahoma at 12, LSU at 13, Arizona 14, Louisville 15, Notre Dame 16, NC State 17. No, Iowa 17, NC State 18, Oregon State 19, Oklahoma State 20, Tennessee 21, Clemson is 22nd, Liberty, like I just said, 20, and you finish the rest of it out. So, besides my gripe with Florida State, how I feel like they got robbed, they deserve to be in, and just the little petty gripe of Kansas State being 25th over Tulane, and again, a petty gripe with Ole Miss should be top 10 and Penn State should be 11th. I'm pretty cool with it. Now, I'm happy Liberty got the New Year 6 bid, but Liberty got to play Oregon in their bowl game. Now, I'll go over a little bit of bowl games next show before I talk about the Navy-Army game and some college basketball. So some college basketball will be next show. But right now, I just wanted to go over the polls and get my little soapbox on the playoffs. So we have Michigan versus Bama, and we have Washington versus Texas. 2 really good games. It should be 2 really good games. Y'all already know from my preseason pick, I picked Bama to win it all. So that's not going to change. I'm sticking with Bama. I've been saying Bama's going to win it all since my SEC preview, since I did my playoff show, before the season even kicked off. So I'm sticking with my pick for Bama. I told y'all Bama was going to beat Georgia in the SEC SEC championship this year. Told you Bama was going to set the statement like, hey, they had a nice 2-year run, but this is really our conference. We really run college football. We're going to take that back from y'all this year. And sure enough, they proved me right. So I'm sticking with Bama. But now we got to get into these conference championship games, and we start off with the first one. That was the Conference USA Championship, and Liberty wins that 49-35. Caden Salter has an absolutely amazing game. Quentin Cooley finds the end zone. Eric Begga making big plays. CJ Daniels making big catches. And let's not forget on the New Mexico State side, Diego Pavea was running the offense very efficiently before he got hurt. Freak injury. He got hurt throwing a touchdown pass to Jonathan Brady. New Mexico State put up a hell of a fight of their own on the offensive end, but Liberty just outlasted and outgunned New Mexico State. And the injury to Diego Pavea actually proved very hurtful. As you know, I say he's the backbone of this offense. Blaze, oh my God, Berlowitz, he came in, he did his thing, he did okay, but he threw a crucial interception. But let's get into it. So, New Mexico State starts with a 25-yard Diego Pavea touchdown run. Then Liberty starts with the 1-yard Quentin Cooley touchdown run, set up by Quentin Cooley 20-yard run. New Mexico State answers with a 10-yard Ron Tiavasini touchdown catch, set up by 19-yard Trent Hudson catch. Liberty turnover on downs, 4th and 2. Vaughn Blue 1-yard run, leads to a 3-and-out punt. Then Liberty scores a 12-yard Quentin Cooley touchdown run. CJ Daniels 32-yard catch. Liberty scores a 26-yard Noah Frith touchdown catch set up by Austin Henderson, 19-yard catch. New Mexico State answers with a 17-yard Trey Hudson touchdown catch set up by Bryce Childress, 17-yard catch. Liberty starts the second half with a Quentin Cooley 4-yard touchdown run set up by CJ Daniels, 64-yard catch. New Mexico State starts with a 3-and-out punt. Liberty scores a 20-yard CJ Daniels touchdown catch And then Aaron Beger set that up with a 24-yard run. New Mexico State answers with a 75-yard Jonathan Brady touchdown catch. And that's the play that Diego Pavea got hurt on. Just a freak accident with his elbow. I mean, he threw it. Everything looked fine. Just out of nowhere, you could hear that Pavea's hurt. But Liberty will have a 32-yard field goal miss, which will lead to an 11-yard Trent Hudson touchdown catch to tie the ball game. But then Liberty will answer with a 2-yard Billy Lucas touchdown run, set up by a 43-yard Billy Lucas run. And New Mexico State's Blaze Berlowitz will throw a pick, which will lead to a Caden Salter 35-yard touchdown run. And then New Mexico State on 4th and 15 will have a pass incomplete, which will lead to the end of the game. And like I said, man, this was an offensive battle, a shootout. And Caden Salter had an amazing game. He's on major performances, as you can guess if you watch the game. Quentin Cooley had 3 tuds. It's just Liberty offense outlasting New Mexico State. New Mexico State still had a hell of a year. I believe they played. I don't remember, and I don't want to say anything wrong. So when the bowl seasons get here, I know I will be previewing and recapping every bowl game. So don't worry about that. I got y'all. But yeah, they do have a bowl game. Great year for Jerry Kill and the boys. Moving on to the Pac-12 championship. Oh, by the way, I picked Liberty to win. So got that right. But I got this one wrong. Picked Oregon to win the Pac-12 championship, and Washington wins it 34-31. Michael Penix, I wouldn't say he had an amazing game, but what plays needed to be made, Michael Penix made them. Bo Nix and this offense was asleep in the first half, woke up in the second half, but it wasn't enough. Washington ends the year 2-0 against Oregon, sweeps them. They beat them both times. Any questions you had about the first game was erased because they did it again. They said, hey, y'all want to put questions on our first one? No problem. We'll show y'all why we beat them, and they beat them on a neutral site. Also, that 12-point swing, crazy as it was, I took the 9.5 for Washington. So, yes, I picked them to lose, but I knew 9.5 was crazy. Crazy, you giving them 9.5 points, this offense. Come on, that's absolutely bonkers. But let's get into the game. So, Washington starts with a 38-yard field goal, while Oregon starts with a 3-and-out punt. Washington scores a 5-yard Dylan Johnson touchdown run, set up by a 16-yard Dylan Johnson run. Then with 8:46 left in the second quarter, Oregon scores a 36-yard field goal. Then Washington will answer with a 4-yard touchdown pass to Dylan Johnson. From Dylan Johnson to Jeremy Bernard. Jalen McMillan set that up with a 45-yard catch. Washington will score a 37-yard field goal. Oregon answers with a 2-yard Terrence Ferguson touchdown catch. Ted Johnson set that up with a 39-yard catch. Now, Oregon starts the second half with another 2-yard Terrence Ferguson touchdown catch, set up by a 30-yard Jordan James catch. Then Penix would throw a pick, but the very next play, Bo Nix would throw an interception right back. And that would lead to a turnover on downs, 4th and 2. Michael Penix is sacked, which will lead to a 6-yard Jordan James touchdown run for Oregon to take the lead. But then Washington will answer right back with a 1-yard Dylan Johnson touchdown run, set up by Jalen McMillan, 31-yard catch. And then the Washington will score a 2-yard Quentin Moore touchdown catch to ice the game, set up by Jalen Pope, 25-yard catch. But Oregon would not be done. Oregon would score in 2 plays, and the second play would be a 63-yard Trayshawn Holden touchdown catch. Just crazy yak, just fighting, crazy yak, breaking tackles, and then hit the sideline and found a way to the end zone. But Washington will recover the onside kick and bleed the clock out to win the game. Michael Penix won offensive MVP. I kind of felt like Dylan Johnson should have won offensive MVP with his 2 touchdowns and the yards, and he even threw a touchdown. So I thought Dylan Johnson should have won Pac-12 MVP, but that's just how the way the cookie crumbles. Bo Nix and them fall short in the championship. Michael Penix gives Washington a championship. I think it's been a couple years. I think it's been since the last time they made the playoffs, they won the Pac-12 championship. And this will be the final, or this is allegedly the final Pac-12 championship game. So Michael Penix will quite possibly win the final Pac-12 championship, at least for a while, if they don't revitalize the conference. Who knows? But as we know, to further notice, this is the final Pac-12 championship game, and Michael Penix wins it. Moving on to the Big 12 championship game, which was way less competitive. It was a blowout. And I picked Texas to win this because of the run defense. We have Oklahoma State 21, Texas 49. Now, I did not recap this game like that. I did the blowout version. Y'all know I will blowout version quick. So, Texas will score on 5 of 7 first half drives. touchdown, 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 interception, touchdown, missed field goal. So really, it could have been 6 on 7. Oklahoma State scored on 2 of 8 first half drives, being punt, touchdown pick, punt, touchdown fumble, halftime. Now, 2 of the Oklahoma State had 2 first half turnovers that were, deadly, killed them. Texas scored on 2 of their 4 second half drives, being punt, touchdown, and the game. So really 3, and they just iced the game away. While Oklahoma State only scored 1 touchdown, their last possession was a touchdown, garbage touchdown. The game's already over. At that time, it was 49-14. That's your ball game. So they did that. Oklahoma State last touchdown was I already had that. It was a garbage touchdown. Quinn Ewers had a major Big 12 championship game, setting records for yardage and touchdown passes in the first half, while Ollie Gordon was boxed all game, had 13 carries for 34 yards. I told y'all this Texas run defense would stop Ollie Gordon, force Allen Bowman to win the game, and he couldn't do it. He could not keep pace with this Texas offense. Texas gets a major Big 12 dub. This is their final Big 12 game as they move to the SEC next year. Way to close out the Big 12, your Big 12 tenure with a championship and going damn near undefeated. Just lost 1 game to Oklahoma, who's also following you to the SEC. So they beat all the teams that will be in the Big 12 next year. They lost to Oklahoma, who's following them to the SEC. Just a great way to end your year in the Big 12. Moving on, we have the MAC, which I picked Toledo to win this game. I picked Toledo to win, and boy, did Miami of Ohio come to play, blocking field goals, making plays, keeping Toledo out the end zone. They allowed 14 points all game. Miami of Ohio defense has been stellar all year. I've talked about this defense, and they came to play. Offense put up 23. Offense put up just enough to win. Defense said, we got y'all. We're going to get into it. So Miami of Ohio starts with a 33-yard field goal. Then Toledo will start with a Daquan Finn sack fumble, which they was moving the ball on that drive, and defense came up big, made a play. But that would lead to a punt. Miami of Ohio then scores a 1-yard Rashad Amos touchdown run, set up by a targeting penalty. With 9:13 left in the second quarter, Toledo scores Toledo will have a 39-yard field goal blocked, which leads to a 3-and-out punt. But with 9 seconds left, Toledo in the second quarter, Toledo will score a 13-yard Anthony Torres touchdown catch, set up by Justin Vanderro's 33-yard catch, and the 2-point will be good, which I don't know why they went for 2, but they went for 2 and got it. Toledo starts the second half with a 3-and-out punt. Miami of Ohio starts with a 40-yard field goal. Then Toledo will answer with a 3-yard Daquan Finn touchdown run, set up by a 44-yard Justin Vanderro's catch, and the point after would be no good. So they went for 2. They got it, but then they had a flag that backed it up, kicked the point after with no good. Then Miami of Ohio will score a 48-yard field goal miss, which will lead to a 3-and-out punt. Then with 13:27 left in the game, Miami of Ohio will hit a 40-yard field goal, which they will take the lead and never look back from. And then with 2:41 left in the game, Miami of Ohio scores a 10-yard Rashad Amos touchdown run, set up by a 50-yard Avion Smith run, and that would ice the game as Toledo. So this play was crazy. So Toledo is trying to they're trying to score a touchdown and have time left to kick an onside kick and set up a field goal, which is smart. But they get the 4th down. They have to settle for a 38-yard field goal attempt, but it's blocked. But it was blocked right into a Toledo player behind the line of scrimmage. So he picks it up, and he actually gets the first down off the blocked field goal. So he gets the first down of the blocked field goal, but then Daquan Finn throws an interception, and that'd be a ball game. Again, Miami of Ohio, great defense, way to galvanize the troops with Brett Gabbert going down. Avion Smith came in, took over the defense. Hey, we'll help our young backup out. They win a championship. They win the MAC against all odds. They beat Ohio. They beat Toledo. It's a well-deserved MAC championship for Miami of Ohio. Moving on, we have another blowout of a game. Another game where I picked wrong. I picked UNLV. Now, I honestly might have picked with my heart. I needed a Spartan to win something. And Ricky White, the former Spartan, is on UNLV. I needed him to win something. As Boise State wins 44-20, amazing turnaround since firing their head coach. Now, it's been so good they went 3-0 that they decided to hire the interim head coach that took over as the now head coach. got them a Mountain West championship. I don't remember who I picked. I don't even remember if I picked the Mountain West champion at the beginning of the year. I know I talked about Boise State, or Ace talked about Boise State. One of us did in our 10 group of 5 schools to talk about. I don't remember if either one of us picked them to win in that Mountain West, but they won it nonetheless. With the score of 44-20 in Las Vegas. Boise State scored on 5 of 7 first half drives. They scored a touchdown. They threw a pick 6. Touchdown, field goal, punt. While UNLV scored on 2 of their 6, including the pick 6 that they got from Boise State. There's been a touchdown, punt, fumble, interception, field goal, half, and in between that was the pick 6. The pick 6 kept UNLV in the game for the first half, but in the second half, UNLV will only score 1 field goal, while Boise State was scoring 3 of their 6 drives, being a field goal, touchdown, fumble, punt, field goal, ball game. So really 3 of 5. In the second half, UNLV had 2 turnover on downs and a pick, and that's not including the first half with the fumble and a pick. So really 3 turnovers, but if you include the turnover on downs, which literally got the name turnover in it, 5 turnovers. UNLV had too many turnovers and couldn't get stops on defense to keep up with, to keep them in the game. Boise State ended up taking them turnovers and boat racing them, and they get their Mountain West Conference championship. So shout out Boise State. I think this is like the 3rd year with somebody different won. Yeah, because last year Fresno State won, this year Boise State won, and then 2 years ago Utah State won. So Mountain West is in the rotation right now. So I wonder who gets it next. But shout out to them. Now we got that SEC championship. And look, man, I told y'all, Bama for the dub. Bama for the W. Bama wins it with a final score of 27-24. In Atlanta, place was rocking, I was told. My uncle was at the game, so our place was rocking from what I was told. But Bama would start with a 3-and-out punt. Then Georgia would start with a 17-yard Kendall Milton touchdown run, set up by Brock Bowers' 23-yard catch. Then with 3:43 left in the first quarter, Bama would score a 43-yard field goal. And then Bama on his next drive would score a 28-yard Jam Miller touchdown catch, set up by Kobe Prince 19-yard catch, and I believe a face mask. Then UGA, Georgia, was missed a 50-yard field goal, which would lead to a 15-yard Jermaine Burton touchdown catch right before the half. Then Georgia would start the second half with a punt. Bama would start the second half with a 3-and-out punt. Georgia would score a 34-yard field goal. Then Georgia would come back and Carson Beck would fumble, which would lead to a 28-yard field goal. Then with 10:16 left in the fourth quarter, Georgia would score a 1-yard quarterback sneak with Carson Beck. Then Bama would answer with a 1-yard Roydale Williams touchdown run set up by Isaiah Bond, who had 4 catches for 57 yards on that drive, just absolutely taking over when Bama needed to score. Then Georgia would answer with a 1-yard Kendall Milton touchdown run. Brock Bowers had a 28-yard catch. And then they would kick it deep to Bama, and Bama would just run out the clock. Bama ran out the last 2:40 in the game. I believe Georgia had all 3 timeouts at the time, too. Jalen Milroe had a long run. But, man, Bama made the plays necessary. When the game got crunchy, Bama made all the right plays to keep the game at bay. Georgia fought hard. To keep it close. Georgia actually had a chance with 1 stop to even take the lead, but they didn't make the stop. Bama scored a tud. And they kept Georgia at bay. Isaiah Bond took over when necessary. Jalen Milroe made throws, used his legs. They were just able to make the right plays, and Bama won the game. And Bama now is in the playoffs, while Georgia is not. They're on the outside. But they had the last 2, man. You can't win them every year. Kirby Smart has this program still in a great position. Now, moving on. We have the American Athletic Championship, and in my opinion, this was an upset. I know myself. I know a lot of people had Tulane winning, including myself, and SMU came in, kicked the door with a backup quarterback and said, nah, this is our championship. We ain't have a championship since the Pony Access with Eric Dickinson and Craig James. Hey, look, they finally got their ship. Now, for SMU, they would start with a Kevin Jennings sack fumble, while Tulane would start with a 1-yard Michael Pratt touchdown run. Then SMU would miss a 40-yard field goal, which would lead to a 3-and-out punt. SMU would score a 6-yard Jalen Knighton touchdown run, which was set up by Roderick Daniels' 32-yard catch. Then Kevin Jennings would throw a pick, but it would lead to a punt. And then Kevin Jennings would say he would throw another pick, which would lead to a 3-and-out punt. So 2 of the 3 turnovers didn't hurt. 1 led to a touchdown, which is not good if you're Tulane. You got to cash in on turnovers. With 1:32 left in the second quarter, SMU scores a 17-yard Keyshawn Smith touchdown catch to put them up at halftime. Tulane on 4th and 5 had a pass incomplete right before halftime. Then Tulane would start the second half with a punt. SMU would start the second half with a punt. Tulane would score 42-yard. Keith Brown touchdown catch. But SMU would answer with a 48-yard field goal, a 32-yard field goal, another 32-yard field goal, and with 4:28 left in the game, Michael Pratt would throw a pick, which would lead to a 45-yard field goal, and Tulane would have a turnover on downs, 4th and goal, the pass incomplete, which would lead to the end of the game. Honestly, SMU, great defense started the game. Chris Brazil was a non-factor. Again, you had 3 turnovers as SMU. They only cashed in on 1 from 1 yard out. So, I mean, you can't really hold that against the defense. The other 2, defense held its own, gave up nothing. Then the offense was able to sustain drives. They didn't score tuds, but they would get able to kill time and get field goals, keep piling on the points to where the game was kind of unreachable for Tulane. Tulane offense, man, just wasn't there tonight. They didn't have it. Like I said, SMU defense came into play. Moving on, we got the Sun Belt Championship, and this game was close for the first half, and then App State absolutely ran away with it in the second half. Your final score in that game was App State 23, Troy 49. I did pick Troy to win. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, I had Troy winning the Sun Belt. I know I was high on Troy. I really like Troy and team, so I would be interested to see Troy leave the Sun Belt. I don't know what conference they would go to, but I would be interested in seeing it. But let's get into it. So Troy starts with the punt. App State starts with a punt, and then with 9:18 left in the second quarter, App State turnover on downs, 4th and 1. Anderson Cass, who run his stuff, which leads to a 7-yard Kamani Vidal touchdown run, and that'd be his first touchdown of 5 of the night. Kamani Vidal, best back in the Sun Belt. Like I said, if you want to say Marcus Carroll's close, I'm fine with it, but I don't think it's close. I think Marcus Carroll's the second best, but I don't think it's close. Troy scores a 36-yard Kamani Vidal touchdown right after that. And then App State answers with a 1-yard Kanye Roberts touchdown run set up by Dalton Stroman 40-yard catch. App State would then score another 6-yard Kanye Roberts touchdown run set up by Kanye Roberts 19-yard run to start the second half. Then Troy starts the second half with a 51-yard Chris Lewis touchdown catch. Hey, that boy's a dog. App State would then punt to Jabri Barber, who fumbles. App State would recover the fumble, and that would lead to a 41-yard field goal. There was 10:57 left in the game. Troy scores a 2-yard Kamani Vidal touchdown run, set up by a 32-yard Kamani Vidal run. App State Joy Aguilar would then get sacked and fumble. The fumble would be scooped by Don Callis and for 10 yards for a scoop and score. But then App State would answer with an Eli Wilson touchdown run. The 2-point would be no good, and Milan Tucker set it up with a 23-yard catch. But then Troy would answer with a 3-yard Peyton Higgins touchdown run. Set up by a Chris Lewis 21-yard catch. After recovering the onside kick, and then Joy Aguilar would be sacked and fumbled for a which would lead to a 49-yard Kamani Vidal touchdown run, and that would be your ball game. App State, like I said, in the second half, absolutely boat raced. Troy absolutely boat raced App State in the second half. First half, 14-7. Then they would just go on to outgun them. So, Kamani Vidal, dog. I'm interested to see what he do in the league. I want to see. I hope a team gives him a chance. But he balled, man. Absolutely balled. Had 1, 2, 3. I count 4, but ESPN had him credited for 5. So hold on, maybe I'm missing something. But ESPN definitely had him at 5 touchdowns for Saturday. But I only count 4. And I thought it was weird when ESPN had it credited. They got him credited for 5. Hold on. So that'd be 35. And then they had the scoop and score. And they had the Peyton Higgins joint. No, Chris Lewis had one. Hold on. I might have misdid one. Hold on. Oh, yeah. It was a 6. No. I messed that one up. That was on me, fellas. I'm sorry. That's on me. Why doesn't it have it? It doesn't have the touchdown. But it's on me. It wasn't Peyton Higgins that scored. Peyton Higgins did not score the tud. It was a 6-yard Kamani Vidal touchdown run. Not Peyton Higgins. So that's on me, fellas. He did have 5. Where did I write that? So yeah, but like I said, Troy absolutely boat raced App State in the second half. Now, I don't want to have to go over this, but we have to go over it. I for sure. So this game I wrote it out because of how slow it was, but I'm not going over this game like that. This game was absolutely boring. I wanted to fall asleep during this game. Final score in the Big Ten championship, which I did have Michigan win, it was 26-0. For real, what I want to have to say about this game is Iowa was allergic to scoring points. They had the ball in the red zone, found a way to turn it over. Michigan defense was stifling. Iowa had not really too many good drives. And when I mean good, I mean sustained. Man, just Michigan took over the game. Michigan, they didn't have a great day offensively. Nobody stood out. Blake Corum had a lot of short touchdown runs. But, I mean, JJ made throws when he had to, but it wasn't nothing super crazy. He did make some good throws. But overall, man, Michigan could have scored 3 points and won this game. I said it to myself when it was 10-0. The game was over. It was over when they scored the first field goal. I'm not going to go too in-depth in this. I watched maybe the first half and then half the third quarter. And then my sole focus was on Florida State, Louisville. But great game by Michigan. Defensive dominance by Michigan. Iowa, you got to figure this offense out. I do want to touch on this, though, because Gus Johnson brought up a pretty good idea, in my opinion. Gus Johnson said that Lincoln Riley should back the Brinks truck on defensive coordinators. I think his name is Parker Bryant. Hold on. I want to make sure I completely got this right. Give me 1 second. I don't know why that was. Sorry about that. Hold on. Give me 1 second. No, Phil Parker, excuse me. I messed his name up. Gus Johnson said that Lincoln Riley should back a Brinks truck on Phil Parker's driveway and give him whatever he wanted to be the defensive coordinator for SC. And I completely agree. Man, get that man whatever he wants, man. Get that man, if he want 30 million, give him 30 million, 40. I don't care what it is. SC, your defenses have been trashed under Lincoln Riley. Iowa's offense has been trashed under Kirk Ferentz. Almost called him his son name. But the defense has been lights out. So if you mix that defense with a Lincoln Riley offense, SC will be a problem. Teddy, I know you would love that because SC will be a problem. Now SC is looking for another quarterback, though. And I heard he's looking at Will Howard, which I don't know how to feel about that one. When I saw that they said SC was going to talk to Will Howard, I said, is that really who you want, Lincoln Riley? But, hey, Lincoln Riley really hasn't missed on the quarterback. So if that's what we want, if that's what we feel like he can take SC to that level, besides getting the defense, then hey, I can't question it. But I'm a little questionable. But moving on to the last game, we have the ACC champ. Ooh, almost messed up. Almost ruined my banner. We got the ACC championship game with Louisville and Florida State. Florida State went 16-6. Defensive dominance by Florida State. A lot of people were saying this game was pathetic, but I did also on Twitter see a tweet that said if you throw LSU and Alabama uniforms on these two teams, they would praise how great of a defensive performance is, and they were absolutely correct. I said it before I seen this tweet. This wasn't a pathetic game. That was defensive dominance by Florida State, and it deserves to be praised. It deserves to be applauded. It deserves all that. They did an amazing job as a defense to hold this Louisville team to 6 points, which is the first time all season that this team has scored only single digits. This was an amazing performance by the Florida State defense. People, you got to get these national media headlines out of your head. I feel like people only said that because they were trying to follow the narrative of Florida State don't deserve to be the top four and da-da-da. Just use your own head, fellas. Thank you, Teddy. These defenses play well. I understand that Florida State offense, they didn't really have trust in this third string freshman quarterback. They didn't really allow him to do much, especially in the beginning of the game. They were just throwing them screens and running the ball. I'm like, come on, bro. I got to trust this guy, man. I know he's all you got, but you're not going to sustain nothing like this. You got to at least give them the threat of throwing the ball or slinging the ball around. I ain't saying take 30, 40 deep shots. I ain't saying take 10 deep shots, but they got to come out and run more than 2-3 yard routes, or you're going to just make this game so much easier for Louisville defense. But Florida State defense was behind the 8 ball, and they played amazing. Now, I'll get into my little recap for this one because this was a competitive game. Louisville starts with a 3-and-out punt. FSU starts with a 3-and-out punt, and you had just punt mania. It's a 3:22 left in the first quarter. Where Louisville had a turnover on downs, 4th and 2, pass incomplete to Kalen Deloach to pass deflection, or else that have been a first down. Chill out, bro. Chill out. This a wrong show. But that would lead to a 3-and-out. Now, in my opinion, I thought Louisville would just punt it because, hey, they got a third string. At the time, they had a third string freshman quarterback that ain't letting throw no more than screens. Why not punt it, get them deep in their own territory, try to get a safety? But they went for it. It didn't burn them, but they went for it. And after the 3-and-out punt, FSU would strike first with a 45-yard field goal set up by defensive pass interference and an unnecessary roughness. Then with 40 seconds left in the second quarter, FSU 45-yard field goal is missed, but that would lead to the halftime. So the score at halftime would be 3-0. Florida State. Florida State would start the second half with a 3-and-out punt. Louisville would start the second half with a 36-yard field goal to tie the game. Then Florida State will answer with a 2-yard Lawrence Toafili touchdown run, set up by a 73-yard Lawrence Toafili run. Then Louisville scores a 33-yard field goal, set up by Maurice Turner 41-yard run with 13:36 left in the game. Florida State will go 3-and-out and punt the ball, but the punt gets blown up. It wasn't a fake or nothing. They just came. They got back there. The punter ain't even have a chance to get it off. But then Jack Plummer, I told y'all he's going to throw you a pick. You got to catch it. Served up a pick to Tatum Bethune. Tatum Bethune catches it in the end zone for a touchback. Now, I can't remember. I think it was 2 plays prior. Jack Plummer throws an absolute dime to the tight end. Tight end double catches it, and Jack Bethune gets in there and rakes it out. It would have been a touchdown right after the blown up punt. But Tatum Bethune gets in and make a play to get the ball out, but the tight end got to catch that. But and then that leads to the Tatum Bethune interception. So great series by Tatum Bethune. But the pick would lead to a punt. Then Florida State would get a 33-yard field goal after Trey Benson set that up with 3 carries for 33 yards. Louisville will have a turnover on downs, 4th and 7. Jack Plummer is sacked, which will lead to a 40-yard field goal to make it a 10-point game. Then Louisville turnover on downs, 4th and 3. Jack Plummer again is sacked, which will lead to the end of the game. Now, both of those turnover on down sacks were caused by Braden Fish. And in my opinion, Braden Fish should have won ACC MVP of the game. I understand Toafili had 118 yards and a tud. But a lot of that was that 73-yard run, and then he just capped it off with a 2-yard touchdown run. Braden Fish had 3 sacks, 9 tackles, 4.5 tackles for a loss. I think 4 solo tackles. Like, bro was balling all game. He made the 2 sacks on turnover on downs. Bro balled all game. Jared Verse balled with 2 sacks. This defense, somebody on this defense should have won MVP. I thought it should have been Braden Fish. Unfortunately, he did not get it. Toafili got it. Shout out to him for winning it. Nothing personal to him, but I just thought it should have been Fish. But that's it for y'all recaps. I do have major performances I'm going to go over real quick. I only got 6. We had 10 games. I only seen 6, including Braden Fish is one of them. Yes, he is. So I'm not a hypocrite. I do have him as my major performance. If I had him as MVP, why wouldn't I? But we got to go over major performances after I find the banner. I forgot to drag it down. I know I didn't get rid of it. Hold on, did I get rid of it? I might have got rid of it. Hold on, I can make it real quick. Let me just make it real quick for this little 2-minute segment. I gotta give these dogs some shout outs, man. I gotta give the people that play phenomenally, gotta give them their shout outs. So major performances. Number 1, you probably already guessed it. Liberty's quarterback, Caden Salter, 20 of 25, 319 through the air, 2 tuds, 12 carries for 165 yards, and a touchdown. Down near 500 yards combined. Major performance. Dylan Johnson, who I thought should have been Pac-12 MVP. 28 carries, 152 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 passes, 2 for 2, 5 yards, and a touchdown. So 3 total touchdowns. He ran 2, threw 1. 3 total touchdowns. Running back for Washington. Quinn Ewers, 35 of 46, 452 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 lone interception for the Texas quarterback. Ashton Jeanty, I've been raving about Ashton Jeanty all year. 21 carries, 153 yards, and a tud for Boise State, the running back. Kamani Vidal, 26 carries, right? 26 carries, 233 yards, and 5 touchdowns for the Troy running back. And you have Braden Fish, defensive lineman for Florida State. 9 tackles, 3 sacks, 4.5 tackles for loss. Those are my 6 major performers for the night. Now, that'll be all for I have y'all. That'll be it for everything I have y'all tonight. I butchered that sentence. That's all I got for y'all tonight. Jesus, I butchered that sentence twice. That's all I got for y'all tonight. I don't know when I'll be live. I'm pretty sure I'm going live again Tuesday. I might go live again tomorrow. Depends. I got to look at the college basketball slate. Monday might be just college basketball. If nothing like outrageous or nothing like stands out in college basketball Monday, I'll go live Tuesday to talk about an Army Navy. I probably won't do an awards preview show. I'll just probably react to the awards. I'll just react to the award winners in the Army Navy game recap. But again, I do have some college basketball coming down the line. It should start next week. But until then, I'm out of here. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all at the next episode.